Hello and welcome to this session of History of Western and Indian Art. In today's session, that is module, we shall be discussing about the major artist in Fauvism, Henri Matisse. The reasons behind coming of Fauvism and its salient features. In this module, we shall be studying the art and life of Henri Matisse in detail. Matisse, as we have already discussed, was a Fauvist for a short period of his career and has contributed to the European art to a much larger extent. He is considered to be the master of modernism along with Pablo Picasso being his contemporary. Matisse brought about new vistas in visual art after he began experimenting with the post-impressionist and took what was best available in their works. He also was the first person to start using direct imagery from primitive art, unlike the post-impressionists who were inspired by it and worked in their own manner. The later works of Matisse are almost like visions of primitives, done in flamboyant colors, much ahead of what Fauvism could have thought of in its period. Henri-Émile Benoit Matisse was a French artist known for both his use of color and his mastery in line and composition. He is considered to be one of the great masters in painting along with Picasso and Cezanne. He was a draftsman, printmaker and sculptor, but is known primarily as a painter. Matisse is commonly regarded, along with Pablo Picasso and Marcel Duchamp, as one of the three artists who helped to define the revolutionary development in the arts in the beginning of 20th century. He is also considered to be responsible for some very significant developments in painting and sculpture. Although he was initially labeled a fauve or a wild beast, by 1920s he was increasingly held as an upholder of the classical tradition in French painting. Matisse was born in Le Cateau-Cambrésis in Nord department in southern France, the oldest son of a prosperous grain merchant. In 1887 he went to Paris to study law, working as a court administrator in Le Cateau-Cambrésis after gaining his qualification. He first began to paint in 1889 during a period when he had to rest because of an attack of appendicitis. This was the time when he decided that painting was what interested him mostly and quit his profession to become an artist. Matisse had a very long and versatile artistic career where he maintained an eclectic interest throughout. In this session, we shall be looking majorly at the Fauvist phase of Henri Matisse. Matisse not only worked in Fauvism but is also considered to be the father of Fauvism, the one who inspired Derain and Vlaminck to work in this style. Matisse was an artist who was much senior to Derain and Vlaminck, the other two Fauvists, and was already known for his artistic abilities in Paris. In 1891, he returned to Paris to study art at Académie Julian and enroll in the studios of Gustave Moreau in 1895. This period in the Moreau studios proved to be very influential for him as he learnt not just painting but discussing and rethinking over one's work. This is the time when Matisse realized that visual art was not only about technique, but it was also about thinking, discussing, having your own philosophies and creating something new that would become history in the later years. The Moreau studio greatly formulated the course that his career took in the coming years. In this studio, Moreau encouraged his students to question themselves and their work. The students who were enrolled with Matisse here were later to be exhibiting as the Fauves. Raoult, Marquet, Manguin, Quemoy, Poy, were some amongst them. Raoult was more interested in interpretations through literature, while Matisse and Marquet in outdoor works. Initially, he painted still lifes and landscapes in traditional style, at which he achieved reasonable proficiency. During his period in the Muro studios, Matisse also came across the works of symbolists who had just begun working along with the post-impressionist. More than art of the symbolist, Matisse got interested into the literature, especially poetry of Baudelaire. We see a lot of references of symbolist ideas which come and go in the works of Matisse almost till mid of his career. Since born in the symbolist era, his colors, his forms, the woman that he represents in his art have some religious connotations and hidden meanings much more than what is available to see to the eye directly. In 1896 and 1897, Matisse visited the Australian painter John Peter Russell, who introduced him to the post-impressionists like Van Gogh, who had been a friend of Russell but was completely unknown at this time. Matisse's style changed completely after he saw Van Gogh. By 1899, Matisse had come across works of artists like Paul Gauguin and Paul Cézanne. Cézanne's work seems to have had the most profound effect on Henri Matisse. Many of Matisse's paintings from 1898 to 1901 make use of a divisionist technique that he adopted after reading Paul Signac's essay D'origine de la Croix on Neo-Impressionism. His paintings of 1902-03, a period of material hardship for the artist, are comparatively sombre and reveal preoccupations with the form. Although impressed by many styles and artists of his times like the symbolist, post-impressionist, pointillist, and so on, Matisse's work is very free of interpretation of Signac's or Van Gogh's or Gauguin's works. Although the interpretation of Signac's neo-impressionist intentions conveyed as much enthusiasm for him as Cézanne's Bathers or Gauguin's Tahitian series, Matisse had a mind of his own. He never tried to imitate anybody nor took their influence in his visuals directly. The influence that he got from these artists was only to think and rethink over his works. It is a synthesis that post-impressionism had to offer, which he manipulated into a personal exercise that we see in the works of Matisse in the coming of new style. In the early phase of Fauvism, which is around 1903 to 1906, Matisse went to the suburbs of Paris and began painting with Derain, whom he had met in Muro studio when working in that place. Derain shared a lot of ideas of Fauvism with Matisse, though they had not yet decided what they were exactly about to bring in the world of art. They began painting in the outskirts with bright colors representing the beauties of nature. Just before he had begun working with Derain, Matisse saw the miracle of imagination produced by drawing and color and began using color subjectively than ever before. A major influence for this could have been Signac or Gauguin, or both of them together. Although his use of colors in this initial phase is overwhelming, it is his drawing that has been really astonishing till date. In his work, Lux Comme Volupté, the forms of nudes are drastically simplified so that they take a purely decorative function. This decorative function taken by the forms anticipates Matisse's belief in primary decorative function of art, which he would vocalize in the years to come. This work also reveals Matisse's great imaginative power as a colorist, while the subtle combination of pinks, yellows, and blues, which are quite unexpected, evoke a scene which almost seems to be inspired from the lines of Baudelaire's poem. This work created stir, afterwards presented in Salah the Independent. Although the work was much ahead of its time and hardly anyone understood what Matisse was about to do, everyone recognized his gifts as painter. In this work, Matisse has combined the ideas of Cézanne used in Olympia along with Signac's pointillism, using the colors as post-impressionists would have done. The nudes that you see in the foreground, like mentioned before, have become almost decorative patterns, although not losing their grace. Picasso would be doing in his contemporary times in Cubism. The characteristic of Matisse art is that although he can simplify the form and flatten the surface to make the human beings, objects, animals, flowers or trees decorative, he never distorted them and tried to make his works grotesque like Cubists would have done. Fauvism in that matter stands out as a movement which never wanted to create disturbing and grotesque art but wanted to give pleasure to the spectators. After this work was exhibited in 1905, Matisse went to Saint-Tropez and combined with Derain that would soon provoke the name given to them, that is Les Fauves. Les Fauves, as we have already discussed in the last session, literally means the wild beast because of the free-spirited use of color and line that Derain, Vlaminck and Matisse did in this small-lived movement. After coming back to Paris, they presented their works exhibition, which were not taken positively at all. This is the time when Derain painted landscapes which were still tolerated by the critics, but when Matisse painted his two most important works, which marked his entry into Fauvism, the Portrait of a Lady with a Hat and Madame Matisse, both were quite repellent for the critics. The lady with the enormous hat was too much for the spectators and was interpreted as being inexplicably in bad taste, a caricature of femininity. Even the more perspective critics felt that Matisse had overdone himself this time. They acknowledged his talent as a painter, but this new freedom of line and color was regarded as an eccentricity. Many critics started questioning whether Matisse would really reach great heights with his talent if he would continue experimenting in such vague manners. The lady with the hat seems to be grotesque and unfeminine because of the ideas of femininity that were strongly prescribed before Fauvism came into being. Although a lot of experiments could be done with the forms of women who were painted in nudes, like Picasso did in Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, it was fairly improbable for an artist to paint women of high status in such a vague manner. In this work, Matisse represents his own wife wearing an abnormally large hat with forms filled with multiple colors. The face itself is a riot of colors with yellows, greens, oranges, all the colors that he has used in the background as well. The portrait obviously seems to be of bad taste because the woman basically does not look delicate and beautiful. Flamboyant as the portrait of Lady with the Hat was, it was nothing as compared to the startling effect his portrait of Madame Matisse would ever have. Even to our eyes, almost 100 years later, the impact is still colossal. The power of the color is overwhelming and the excitement of the green line punctuating the nose is still alive as it would have been then. This free juxtaposition of colors, orange and green, for example in this work, we possibly take for granted now when we have seen so much of pop art, so much of digital art and so much of mixing done in different mediums. After a long range of experiments in art and owing to the influence of Matisse himself, this is not as shocking to us anymore. By putting yourself in the place of the critic in 1905, we would perhaps get a faint idea of what kind of colossal shock it could have generated in the mind of the onlooker. This was the time when Van Gogh, Goya were recently being seen, and Matisse had already gone much ahead of them. In this work again, it is not that the drawing is distorted or not that the woman is made to look ugly, but the use of brilliant green right in the center of the face has a jarring effect in all the times. Also, the use of contrast colors along with the analogous colors done together in this work create a marvelous feeling on the optics of anybody who has a look at this work. After presenting for the first time, Matisse went through a very bad phase because of the extreme criticism coming from the critics. This did not really affect his way of working or his way of thinking in any way, because Matisse was very sure of what he was about to achieve. Working along with Derain and Vlaminck, Matisse began painting further in Fauvistic style. Vlaminck, the early Fauvist, claims that he introduced the African sculpture to Matisse and Derain in 1904, owing to his deep interest in the primitives and the free-spirited. We do not know if this claim is true, but what is important is that Matisse and Derain both became seriously attracted to this type of art. Matisse, in fact, was so interested in this style of work that he began collecting a number of primitive artifacts which influenced his art in the later period. But these do not seem to be making an impact on him in this early phase like it made in the works of Picasso. But yet their effect is evident in a number of works that Matisse has done after 1906. The bright diluted colors in these works of ceramics, textiles and also paintings and the bold patterns seem to have appealed greatly to him, as can be evidently seen in his works like Still Life with Pink Onions. In this work, Matisse has painted onions which are pink bright over a background of green and pale yellow with vases which are directly from his collectibles of the primitives. He seems to be very fascinated with the patterns on the vases which he has freely painted in quite a detail, decorating and making the work very interesting. During the same time, Matisse painted one of his masterpieces which is called Joy the Vivre in 1906, literally meaning the joy of life. In this work, Matisse has achieved to his utmost level what he meant to be achieving in the beginning of Fauvism. Matisse here has also been able to convey what Fauvism would be going ahead with in the coming years after the excitement and riot of colors that they created in the earlier works. Although it is unlikely that Matisse was really concerned intellectually about what Fauvism would be going towards. Joy the Vivre, in the literal sense, is not a Fauvist work. Similar to his earlier work, the nudes here seem to be in simplified free form, in a much more freer form compared to Lux Les Voluptés. The nudes here are almost like the drawings of the trees in the background and create a fascinating vision of what the beauties of life could be, according to what Matisse wanted to show. What is interesting in the works of Matisse is that although he can draw very free-flowing forms with utmost simplicity, none of his works lead to any erotic ideas whatsoever. After the Joy of Life, Matisse painted two of his very important and famous works, The Dance and the Music. These two works are not really Fauvist in nature. They are basically done as commission. What you see here, although, is the continuation of fluidity of line and form which you find in Joy of Life. One interesting factor which you can obviously see in both these works is that Matisse has been able to completely flatten the forms, not giving even a hint of perspective, not even bothered about the three-dimensionality of the figures in this work. He has given a basic line in the center of the work, creating a foreground and a background with figures dancing all around the canvas. The rhythm and the beauty of this work is that you can feel the excitement and pleasure that the dancers are feeling while they are prancing about in the painting. The use of blue and green that Matisse has made relates to his background as a Fauvist painter. The males and females here are devoid of their gender identities and are just free-flowing forms which could be anybody. In the next work, along with this, the music, you find characters sitting down and playing different musical instruments. The blues and the greens in this work become brighter, so also the reddishness of the skin tones. Again, you will find the characteristic Matisse. There is no sign of eroticism in the characters that he has painted. Everybody seems extremely comfortable and enjoying the event which is going on. Every work of Matisse characteristically might be shocking for the usage of colors, but does give the spectator great pleasure of viewing and does not create any kind of negative element in the mind. Matisse continued to paint in his Fauvist style, improvising in different ways by accommodating the patterns of textiles of the primitives and trying to generate new living in his portraits. He has painted a number of portraits of Madame Matisse, like the one here painted in 1907, where she is seen adorning a very Tahitian headcloth and a dress with patterns inspired from what the folklore would have been wearing. He has also painted remarkable portraits like the Spanish woman with the tambourine, which was done in 1909, where the female stands out with a yellow pale skin tone because of the opposite violet toned background which has been done in plain strokes. Her dress stands out, which seems to be an obsession with Matisse paintings in this period between 1908 to 1910, where he is highly fascinated by the patterns on textiles. This woman again is completely devoid of any voyeuristic feeling from the part of the artist, and when you see this work you can only observe the colors and the patterns that Matisse really wanted us to see. Another work which continues to be in this style is Manila Shawl, painted in 1911. In this work again, the woman, the portrait of whose Matisse has painted here, is almost like a mannequin to showcase the pattern of textile that fascinates Matisse a great deal. In the same period, Matisse painted two remarkable works which took him much ahead to become one of the modern painters of his times. One of them is the Red Studio, another is the Blue Window. In the Red Studio, Matisse has achieved what Picasso would be striving to achieve in his Cubist works. He has completely delusioned the idea of perspective and space and created a three-dimensional space which is flat at the same time. He completely takes away the concepts of showing what is not visible from one angle. He also goes away from casting shadows of the objects which are depicted. The whole studio has been painted in red, with the painting, the wall, the floor, the chair, everything completely red. Matisse here is trying to portray what he felt about his studio rather than what was actually visible in the studio. Effect of red that Matisse wanted to achieve was successfully achieved with the use of the color done devoid of any tones. In another work of the same period called as the Blue Window, Matisse achieves a similar effect using the cool color of blue. In this painting again, Matisse has painted the scene which is not just outside the window, along with the inside part of the window where certain objects have been placed. Here again, the artist has been able to achieve the flattening of perspective completely by treating what is inside the window and outside the window on the same visual level. Matisse not only uses rhythmic lines, but he has also made use of color to completely disillusion the idea of inside and outside. Another work painted in the same time, called as the Desert Harmony in the red, painted in 1908, Matisse makes use of similar techniques which he had used in the red studio and the blue window, where the foreground and the background of the painting are one and the same, only giving a hint of perspective by placing a window in the left corner of the work. You will see that Matisse here is fascinated with the patterns on the textiles which he makes use as a wallpaper, which bends down to be the cover of the table on which the lady is sitting. He has also placed a chair in the left below corner of the painting, which again hints towards the background and the foreground and gives us an idea that this could be, after all, a three-dimensional space. The lady who is sitting to the right end of the painting almost submerges in the background. For Matisse, what is important is not the subject but the pattern that he has been wanting to create to give a pleasurable and decorative effect. What is happening outside the window is almost as rhythmic as what you see on the patterns of the red color, and thus it seems like one single harmonious embroidery pattern which Matisse generates. Matisse's career as a Fauvist has been very eclectic, where he parallelly painted works like the Blue Window Red Studio and Harmony in Red, along with works like Tea in the Garden, which are highly impressionist. Here again, Matisse does not create effect like he would have in the Red Studio by flattening the complete surface of the painting. This work rather seems more impressionist. Here you see two women who are sitting peacefully in the garden having tea. What is interesting for Matisse here is the light that is falling through the trees on the table alongside and also on the figures of the women themselves. The fascination of textiles and primitive patterns is again evident here, as Matisse has painted the dress of the woman sitting in the right almost like a ceramic vase could have been. Here again, Matisse creates an illusion of three-dimensionality and perspective by the use of lines only, as if you see in detail, he has not used any kind of shadow in a single part of the painting. This was the phase in life of Matisse where began his hardships, since Fauvism was not really understood and accepted by the critics of his times. He painted another work like this, which is done in 1921, where the fascination of wallpapers, designs and decorative elements of art takes over him once again. Here you will find that instead of using a single color and single pattern all over the painting, Matisse has made use of three different patterns, one on the wall which you see in the left end, on the carpet that you see with different pattern again, and the right end which has a green wallpaper with patterns again. The figures that Matisse has drawn within the painting are almost like the patterns on the wall and do not have any significance as the subject matter of the work. Going towards more simplification and abstraction, we see this work of Matisse called The Woman with the Vase. In this work, the stripes that run along the yellow wall of the painting also run along the purple dress of the woman's robe. Here again, Matisse has made exceptionally brilliant use of opposite colors like purple or violet and yellow, yet creating a harmony in the painting. The vase and the table that you see in the front again defy your understanding of perspective, as the woman who is sitting is leaning on the couch with the vase right next to her. Matisse indifferently creates something which simplifies the understanding of visuals and depiction in the way like children or Egyptians could have done. As he moves further, his fascinations for patterns and colors goes on increasing, and by the time he goes in his later phase, that is after 1950s, he almost paints collages with only patterns on them. In this still life again, you will find that Matisse has taken certain cues from the works of Cézanne, but is rather interested again in the colors, where he has made use of orange, yellow and violet to give an effect of harmony again. Here too, Matisse has made use of window and a table which is placed next to window with a textile, which pattern again is characteristic in the works of Matisse. The work Standing Odalisque, reflected in the mirror, which Matisse painted in 1923, again represents the simplicity of form and line which Matisse had achieved to perfection by this time. Here again, the idea of space is completely defied by the same color used on the floor and the wall, which is repeated in the right corner of the painting. The odalisque, which stands right in the middle, is drawn with absolute simplicity, which we have been seeing since Joy de Vivre, or the joy of life. Matisse again here has made use of horizontal and vertical lines to create patterns, to render the surface, which is absolutely flat, to have qualities of three-dimensionality and multiple spaces. In his works in the coming years, the fascination of patterns goes on increasing, and the background patterns start becoming more and more bold, as you can see in this work, the music, where the wallpaper itself is as bold as the two figures sitting in the foreground. Also now, the figures itself, or the objects which are there in the work of art, are becoming almost similar to the flat patterns which were initially only the wallpapers or the carpets. If you have a detailed look at the foot of the woman wearing the blue dress, it is almost done in the lines as rhythmic as the leaf patterns on the wall painted at the back of the painting. Much more interesting work titled Interieur à la Forge Noir, painted in 1948. Matisse has went even ahead. When you look at the work, you see only the pattern, bold pattern in yellow with black spots, which is the floor. The table that is placed on the floor is almost as if a circle drawn in two-dimensional composition, painted with green, and the tree which is there in the pot kept on the table becomes almost like the pattern painted on the red wall behind the work. This work moves even further to what Matisse would have been achieving in the years to come, like you see in the work Polynesia the Sea. Here Matisse has completely defied from any kind of depiction and has now reached the free-flowing style where he paints only patterns. These works are much larger than his works of Fauvism. Now you see that he has moved away from Fauvism and has created his own style, which is not dependent on perspective but is only the harmony of forms, lines and colors. Another work of Matisse, like the vegetables which he painted in 1952, is one of the most simplified ways in which he could have painted the basket of vegetables. Although Matisse here goes through a process where he has been simplifying still lifes in phases. What you see here is almost like a design of a carpet or a wallpaper. Henri Matisse, all his career, has been one of the most eclectic artists who has translated the influences that came across him in his own style, creating different genres of art. In his later phase, he almost went ahead to say that the only function of creation of art was that of decoration, and art that did not give pleasure or did not have aesthetical value was not great art at all. Henri Matisse, thus in his later years, went towards the patterns which were in immense harmony and did not create any disturbing effects like his contemporaries would have been making in their arts. Henri Matisse has influenced a great deal of people in the years to come, especially with his free spirit of colors, which is a boon for the artist today, since we can imagine using these colors because Henri Matisse began using them when he began with something called as Fauvism.